No cap allowed, better check that at the door. We speak what they think, but be scared to explore. It's bold, it's real, every word got weight. This the no cap room, where the truth don't wait. No cap room, we don't care who get mad. Only real talk here, no fiction, just facts. It's honesty, raw, unfiltered with proof. If you scared of the truth, then this ain't for you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is from the Ground Up Productions, and you are tuned into the No Cap Room. Today, me, Lady Miz, and Marcel will be discussing passing down poverty and the black dollar mindset. Now, let's get into it.
Where does our money go? Like the money that we put in to buy, purchasing a home, owning a home, and some people have 30-year fixed rates, 20-year fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Some rates be fixed, some rates don't be fixed. But the point is that you spend all this money, and if you fall on some unforeseen circumstances, where as though financial issues hit you and you may have be in jeopardy of losing your house or even losing your home, where does all that money go?
Right.
Where is this
Right.
where is that
It,
money?
where
There's
it goes to the
the
people,
bank.
yeah, the bank and the people who, and but then we got to go to who controls the banking system, who's controlling the money, who's control. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, when I sat there, when I was talking to my son, I was talking to Nas, right? And I'm like, yo, and I'm telling him like, yo, there is no bigger hustle than the banking system who sells us a home, and then after they sell us the home, we spend half of our life working, busting our ass, working hard to pay off that mortgage, which ends up being three times the amount if you are not paying extra payments to make the to save on the interest. For them to say if you fuck up, for them to say if you mess up and don't pay your taxes, we're going to take the home from you, which means you never really truly own it, because they could take it from you and then turn around and sell it at full value what the house is worth to somebody else, make that money again and do the same shit to them if they don't. So like on one piece of property, they are making millions of dollars off of the work and the sweat and equity and people's lifetime that they are working hard to keep something like that, to keep a home. And we think, no, don't get me wrong, I always choose real estate because I understand I live in America. I'm in this fucking system. You understand? So I have to do what
Hmm.
I got to do to survive. But at the end of the day, shit, what Malcolm X said, we all been hoodwinked. This shit is a fake ass facade of freedom that we think we got and we do not have. They are playing the shit out of us right in front of our face, and we're dying, killing ourselves to try to stay above water, to stay in this system that keep on going up and up and up, making it unaffordable for us to fucking live. This is crazy.
It's very crazy. It's uh and you can find so many adjectives to talk about it. Anything that speaks to disappointment, fear, worry. People are stressed out just trying to survive, just trying to live. And then the misconception for a lot of people is like homeowners, and people who have a so-called piece of the American dream, that we're doing so better. It seems the reality is most Americans that are not a part of the top percentage of people in this country that controls pretty much most of the wealth in this country.
Hmm.
Um, they are pretty much struggling out here. Now, everybody's struggle is different from to another person's struggle, but that doesn't mean that they struggle. They're not struggling. I mean,
Exactly.
just because you can have afford a couple of more luxuries, and you have people from the outside looking in, don't believe that you're struggling. You know,
Hmm.
a struggle means that it could be a struggle within your household for everybody to get on the same page, because everyone's not on the same page financially, and you realize that we need to be on the same page to try to maximize the earning, the potential that everybody's making in a home, bring it together, try to consolidate it to make it work for everybody's while. as far as savings, as far as budgeting, all those sorts of things.
Mhm.
Because we live in America now where people can't really make it on their own. And when I say people, I'm talking about young children who normally would leave the nest, normally would leave their parents' home uh, and other years and latter years, uh, had more confidence. Um, should I say more opportunity? That's debatable, but definitely the inflation has not, or what people are getting paid and what they're earning has not caught up or stayed in
Definitely
stride
not.
with inflation. So it's just being able to afford an apartment, they can't afford it and still have the same luxuries that they would have living at their parents' home, or even if they're not living with their parents, they have roommates, friends, people from college are coming together, moving together, because they realize that it's tough out here for one person to do it by themselves. Like I was saying, people look on the outside looking in because people you may still try your best to enjoy things in life that you work for, that you earn for, like taking trips and still dressing in a certain way because that's how you are, that's how you dress. But people don't really know your struggle. You know what I mean? They
Right.
look, and it's not that you need to wear a sign on your back, you know what I mean, and let the world know, because it's personal. It's something that you know what you're going through, and struggle don't that's not necessarily. Once again, I got to emphasize it, mean that you're broke, you know, but it's not that you don't go through your challenges. Anytime you got a budget, and rich people budget, don't get me wrong, but anytime you got to budget and try to think about what you're spending and how you're spending it and being financially frugal. And I think that rich people, they probably, I'm not saying they don't practice those behaviors, but I'm just drawing a parallel between those who are struggling and those who don't have the struggle because they really have the financial backing, they have the financial fortitude, the financial stability to live. And pretty much, how people, the saying is, they can do what they want whenever they want to do it, spend whatever they want on whatever they want to spend it on. I'm not one of them people. And I'm one of the people in America who represents most of America, the so-called middle or upper middle class, that group of people who are trying to survive. Like, it's becoming harder. Let me say that it's becoming harder to survive in this country because of the
Mhm.
inflation and the price, the cost, this, and when it comes to the overall grand scheme of things, and we're using real estate as a perfect example, how we're getting played. You spend money, you invest money into a home, you put money into repairs, you put money into building a property value. When, first of all, depending on where you bought the property at, you might not even own the land that's surrounded, you know.
Mhm.
And then any unforeseen circumstance can happen that cause you to lose the property. And then after all that investment, what did you get out of it? What did you get? You just lose it for them to go, like you said, go. The bank could take it, resell it to a whole nother buyer, put them under the same kind of terms that they put you under, and maybe even worse, depending on their credit. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And don't even get started on credit. Don't even get started on a scam that is. You know, there's some research done on racism in the credit industry and all of that. So it's just a lot, man. It's
Yeah.
just we what the question is, what are the alternatives? There is some out there. I have some written down, but I would say to anybody that's buying a house, Try to don't keep it for 30 years. Don't pay just the minimum payment. I know times are tough now, whereas though it's easy to tell somebody that. But see, that's where family planning and family budget comes together. Where if you can plan to budget, uh, create a budget where as though you can have enough excess money to pay off more. Like put more money to the principal balance before, what is it, like a 5 year period? Correct me if I'm wrong. Before money start even hitting the principal,
What?
it's built then fucked up. The whole system is fucked up.
Well, let me just say
Pardon my
this.
language.
Let me just say this. First, to what you were saying about the kids can't afford to move out, they're getting roommates. I do want to touch on that a little bit because it is true, but we gotta like the kids out there that's in their 20s. We calling them kids because they're younger than us, and we have kids in our 20s, but we do acknowledge that you are not kids, you are young adults. But
Right.
the young adults, and I'll try to remember to say that, the young adults out there, they need to not feel so bad about the situation because you're not the only one going through it. It's a lot of people
Hmm.
are going through it, and some people are fortunate that they probably are not going through it because maybe their parents and their great grandparents, maybe they were in better positions or had the education and the financial literacy to be able to pass down and teach their kids and do the right thing with their money. But when you're talking
Hmm.
about inner city kids who might not know or might had a struggle where their parents were struggling to survive and didn't know no other way, you're now put in an environment where your money goes towards a whole bunch of liabilities and they go towards material things, all of the things that do not really hold value and that are not assets. So due to that way of being and that mindset, we then continue those same spending habits because I still have them. I have the knowledge, but I still have those spending habits as well too, where we're spending
Hmm.
on things that are not meant for us to have a better future. So when kids are roommating with their friends and stuff like that, a lot of them are just. This is what I'm gonna tell you what I don't like about it. First and foremost, there are people who are getting in relationships with people that they don't even like and want to be with just because they can't afford the rent. Okay. I
Mm.
think that I'm going to tell anybody out there,
Facts.
okay, what you need to understand is first, what
Facts.
you need to know if you want to know if that person is really for you and not only trying to just have you there because they can't pay the rent on their own. Say that you're not going to pay the rent. See if somebody wants to be with you when you have nothing to offer them. Then you're going to find out
Right.
if they really give a damn about you or not, or if you're just there for some
Facts.
financial security. Now, the other
Right.
thing that I wanted to speak on was what I don't like about the um, young adults is that they can get together with their friends. And don't get me wrong, I do understand it's easier to live with friends because y'all probably on the same mindset, want to do certain things that maybe it will not be allowed in your parents' house. But it's funny how y'all can now come together and work together and put up the money to do that, but you won't do it in your own household with
Right.
your own family. Okay,
Preach.
that right there is a problem to me because now but you expect your parents to make sure that you're good, but you won't put the money in the very same household of the
Hmm.
family, your own blood family, but
Hmm.
you'll do it with strangers who only want you to so that they could just y'all could just have a good time and say look at me, but you're not building that also is a problem with the mindset of the young adults. Now I want to talk
Yes.
about social media got these kids so messed up, okay? Because social media and society makes people think that they need to live a lifestyle, okay? And when they can't, they feel like they're missing out or that they're losing. And they will jeopardize everything just so they can do it and say, look at me, I did it too, and I was able to do that. And that's almost similar to keeping up with the Joneses in a way. So when I
Hmm.
know we spoke about this before, when we talk about social media and
Yep.
what it how they are trying to keep up with people all over the freaking world. It's so
Hmm.
hard when before back in the days we only had the competition with people that were right in front of us, but now it makes it so
Hmm.
so harder that look. I'm not saying don't live your life. I'm not saying don't enjoy the best things and the finer things in life. You should be able to do that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, for example, these kids, they don't do their homework. They'll want to go to all these other countries that they don't know nothing about. They don't know the laws or anything. They go over there and break a law because they didn't educate themselves enough to know that what you do here in America, you can't do over there. Some of them don't even make it back. They end up in jail over there. You understand? And then
Mm.
now they stuck in a place where these people don't even respect them, and the lifestyle is different just because they wanted to keep up with somebody that they seen who posted something online that is edited and there to convince you that this is the life that they're living. You don't know if that's the only thing they got. And when they go back, they're going back to a shelter. Because I know people that be in shelters that be out there living better than I do. Okay? Because
Facts.
their mindset is, I'm going to live it up right now. They are not thinking
Mhm.
about, like you said earlier, they are not thinking about the future and how it could be better. They just want a better today or tomorrow. They have no plans for the future. And this is the problem with especially our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking about Black people, Black Americans who do not realize that they did a study saying that in 2050, our net worth will be zero. What the hell are we doing so that we don't put ourselves in that predicament?
And did they explain? Okay, did they explain why that would happen? Like, what would be? Where are we trending right now? So obviously, we're trending in a negative direction. But what is the main cause of that?
I do a lot of research, and I also look at other things, other people who look into research. I can only tell you what I came across. I say all of that because everybody must do their own research themselves
Right.
too. But I am going to play a clip of the breakdown and how they came up with this. It was a study that somebody did. And at the end of the day, and I'll play that clip right now.
2053. It's called the Road to Zero Wealth Report. Okay. And you can look that up, and it's predicting that by the year 2053, in just 30 years, that Black people will have a median net worth of $0. Our wealth since 2013. In 2013, our net worth fell below that of Hispanic families, and it has been on a decline ever since. There's a direct parallel to how we're showing up in STEM fields. We are choosing majors that when we do, what's happening is we're running away from math. Because when you get to college, you can say, this is what I want to major in. You don't have to follow a set curriculum, right? So they're choosing majors where they don't have to take a lot of math. And in running away from the math, they're running towards poverty. Because you can choose engineering or you can choose psychology. Based off of that clip, right, that I just played, again, I tell everybody to do their own study. The clip that I just played is just part of it. But what I want to tell people is this. All you got to do is just open your eyes and look at what's going on. Like me and you, Marcel, we was having this conversation earlier. You know, some of the things that you're doing in your neighborhood, some of the things that y'all are trying to do, you know, for yourselves and, you know, when it comes to investing and stuff like that, to make sure that, you know, you're planning for the future. But most people are not looking around and saying, let's first focus on this. I was talking to this girl the other day, right? She was here because she came for game day. She lived in Brooklyn. She said, yo, I see guys 16 hours straight on the block just rapping and they don't
Hmm.
move. They don't even move. And I'm saying that because I'm not saying that there's a problem with rap. I still love hip hop to a certain extent. And I won't even get into that part right now. But what I'm saying is it's about the distraction and the things that we look to
Yes.
as if
Yes.
that is the only way. But we have they what they did was they sent us down a wrong path and they put all these things in front to make it all these little shiny fucking things and made us think, oh,
Right.
that's how we get to where we're going to get, not knowing
Right.
that if you just turned around, the real answer is over there. All that shit that they got us thinking about, distracted on, wanting to do, all of that stuff is not how we're going to make it. And that's not what's going to
No.
be generational wealth. So, you know,
Right.
I just tell what I say is open your eyes. Look at the things that people are
Yes.
talking about. Look at the things that people are doing. What is trending online? What does the media constantly promote and push all the time? What do you see
Right.
the people around you in doing? Are they going out partying all the time? Or are they talking about investments? Are you having creating groups and buying land and building? Are you teaching
Right.
your kids? Or are they talking about rapping, basketball? What celebrity got
Right. The
locked up?
same
Who's
old. The
sleeping with
same
who?
old. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Absolutely.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
Absolutely.
And they,
Everything you said is absolutely correct. And just to pretty much piggyback off of that a little bit is when you don't really have to rely on a study if your eyes are open, even though a study is good because the study
right,
is dealing with social science because they're out there interviewing, they're doing tests, they're making taking a hypothesis and studying it, you know what I mean, and getting projected answers based on that, you know what I mean, to make it more valid, more more valid. But all you got to do is just open your eyes and look at the trend, how we've been trending from 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, even 100 years, how we're
exactly.
trending. And because
And
what we're
I'm
trending,
sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to say this one last thing
go
because
ahead.
the one last thing I wanted to say was, and pay attention to all of the people who are that were black and that is black, not were that was in positions that had a lot of money, and how they always target the ones who would be able
Right,
to make a difference and have change. They
right,
always make sure that they they
right,
they try to strip everything from them so that they don't have the power to do anything, and then they use
right.
us to bring them down and to humiliate them, and they use public
Exactly.
opinions to destroy them. Go ahead. I just want to say that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's all perfectly said. And you said so much that I don't even have to reiterate anything. You know what I mean? Because you covered that. And but once again, looking at the history of our people in this country and how we went from wealth from Black Wall Street until currently now the decline. You have more individual wealthy people, but the community aspect of wealth have been eroded, have been
Mm-hmm.
misplaced. Over the years, it's been more of a concentration on individual power, and that's easier to obtain when you got these people. And I'm not trying to blame everything on the so-called man, right? But let's make no mistake, there is a game plan. Okay, there is a game plan, and we fall right into the trap all of the time. You know what I mean? There can't be
Exactly.
a game plan without an end to the game. You know what I mean? And in any game plan, you got to have players, and it seems like we the ones that are being played a lot. So at the end of the day, we sit here and you see how things have been trending from group economics to more individuality, where people, entertainers and athletes are millionaires and some are billionaires, but yet you don't see a black community still. You don't see, like you spoke to, when even if there was a potential for them to drop the jewels and the gems to the people in their neighborhood and put them down on game, that's not there because the distraction, like you said, have been created. The distractions are there. The things that are shiny, the things that are bling bling, got everybody minds captivated. Everybody minds pretty much enslaved to the materialism. They're not while we're searching for the material things that make us look like we rich. These people are out there really doing things that make them rich. They're not worried about the instant gratification. And I'm not saying that they don't party, but they party within reason and within their means. You know what I'm saying? We do it outside of our means because and
Yeah.
it ties in, like you said, to the social media. So we are distracted, huge, big time distracted by the social media, programmed, um, I don't think it's going to get better for us. So I can see why they are predicting that you say in 2050 that there won't be black wealth because there's no black community. In order for there to be black wealth as a whole, because they're speaking as a community as a whole. Because whenever
Right.
you're talking about wealth of a people, you're not talking about wealth of an individual. You're talking
Exactly.
about wealth of a people, and you can have a handful of individuals like
Mm.
Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, and all of them that got money, but their money is not tied to a black community. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about overall, I can see it trending there. I can see. I mean, you don't have to really have a study. Once again, the study is going to be good because it's going to lay out everything in proper and put things in perspective on how we came to this point and how it's being projected to go to that point. But if anybody got eyes and they're looking and they really want to be honest with themselves, and all you got to do is start within your own family and say, what are we doing? And it's a struggle because, listen, to have financial literacy, right, you got to have the mindset, number one, to realize that you need help, that you need you first of all, yeah, financial literacy is having a proper mindset. Some people don't have the proper mind. They're not even at the starting line, right? Because of the distraction, because of the struggle. There's no excuses, but it's just the mindset that they have. It's a poverty mindset. They're mired and stuck in
Yes.
their own, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they don't even know a way out of it because of how they think and how they think and act pretty much is a result of how they act is a result of their thinking, their poverty mindset. And we can go on, and I don't want to criticize, but me and you both know people or families who think like that, and like I even sometimes get caught up because it's hard to not in America. America is about distractions, is about advertisements. Everywhere you go, things is
Exactly.
pulling on
That's
your physical
that.
senses.
That's why I was
Yeah.
saying earlier. I was like at the end of the day, I fall into the categories as well too because that
Everyone
spending,
does.
yeah, like I know better, but I'm being honest. I'm not always doing better because those things have become a habit for me, and what what makes me feel good is shopping. But in the end, I know like it's nothing wrong with shopping, but you gotta put them funds, like I was telling Nasir, invest first. Let's sit down, which we're about to go do now. We're about to have our family meeting. Soraya just got here, so we've been waiting on her. But I said, let's sit down and let's discuss and let's come up with a plan. Right? We tried it before. Me and me and Soraya had our little issues because girls, we clash. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I ain't doing it. But now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try again. Let's sit down and come up with a plan. And then I encourage everybody to do this. Don't give up on your family, even though like I know your family can be annoying sometimes. And I'm speaking to everybody listening, not one person, not myself, not you, just everybody. Family can be very annoying and it can be very stressful for parents who have learned and know better and do not want to see their kids go down the wrong path or to struggle like they did, but you still want to teach them a certain ways so that they can not have a sense of entitlement and be able to appreciate stuff better. But at the end of the day, you got to work with your family because when it's all said and done, people will always turn and look back at that. They'll say, okay, we talk about community or something that you said before, Marcel, that I always mention now. How are we going to talk about fixing the community when we can't even sit down and have Sunday dinner with our family? So I believe that
Yeah,
starting at
absolutely.
home is definitely
Everything.
the key. First, it's
Everything
starting at
starts
home.
at the home because the home
Mm-hmm.
is a microcosm of the neighborhood, and the neighborhood
Right.
is a microcosm of the community. Everything starts at home, including financial literacy, any type of literacy dealing with life, period. And matter of fact, there's families, right, that have the title family, and I'm talking about mothers and they're home with children, but they're not even a real family. They just live together. So first thing they got to
Mhm.
do is get the mindset of being family again, so a child can stop and listen. And that's going on to a whole other subject that will is probably
Still?
take up more time and is getting into a whole different topic. But just real quick, parents, fathers, if they're there, and mothers, they have to talk to their children like you're getting ready to have a meeting with your children. And I know how you are as a mother and how Ray is as a father. And, y'all are perfect examples of how other parents should be. Y'all communicate, y'all talk. Y'all not just brushing your kids off, leaving them in a room playing video games, making them leaving these decisions up to their own selves. Your daily communication with them. And these are things that
And let
are
me
important.
and absolutely, and but let me just say this, just because I want people to know that they are not alone. Because even though I do that, not all the time, because it is difficult. Sometimes they don't want to talk. It's difficult to grab the attention of your young adults and your teenagers, because there are so many other influences all over the internet that they value and listen to, where sometimes they ain't trying to hear what I got to say. You understand what I'm saying? So
I
it
do.
is difficult, and I'm not make this is not an excuse for the parents to say, "Well, see, I just let them do." Nah, you still got to keep fighting, because at the end of the day, you had those kids, and they are your responsibility. They, you know what I'm
But
saying?
see,
And
you know what?
mhm.
It really goes to the mindset once again, because you have the mindset, Ray have the mind. There's parents out here who don't have the mindset, and again, that's a whole different conversation and topic. You know what I mean? The mindset is transferred to the kids. You have the mindset, and whether they want to hear it or not, you're constantly trying to beat it on them, give it to them, and constantly trying to talk and making the attempt and the effort to teach. You know what I mean? And then also show by example, which y'all are doing a good job compared to. There's a lot of
Thank
people who
you.
I know. Trust me, they're not even close to that. Okay, so kudos and give yourself a pat on the back. I
And
give
same to
myself,
you. And
yeah,
listen, I want to bring
absolutely,
I want you to come back on the, for us to do this again, this no cap room, because I want you to tell people a little bit about what you're doing, and how you're active in your neighborhood and stuff like that, and give like, a background and why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Just break it down, because
absolutely.
I'm sure it'll probably encourage other people, and to say, hey, look, it's possible. This is time for people to stand up and start doing what they got to do. But I'm gonna always say, start at home first. So, do you have any final
Mhm.
words before we end it?
No, no final words. We'll just pick up and do the part two. Go
Okay.
ahead and take care of your family business in the meeting.
Yeah, it's the no cap room. Matt, yeah. This the no cap room. We don't care who get mad. Only real talk here. No fiction, just facts. It's honesty, raw, unfiltered with proof. If you scared of the truth, then this ain't for you. No cap allowed, better check that at the door. We speak what they think, but be scared to explore. It's bold, it's real, every word got weight. This the no cap room, where the truth don't wait. No cap room, we don't care who get mad. Only real talk here, no fiction, just facts. It's honesty, raw, unfiltered with proof. If you scared of the truth, then this ain't for you.